As a baseball parent, it's tough to know if you're doing the right things for your kid, but should you crowdsource information on places like Reddit or Facebook groups? Let's talk about it. So I'm Dan Blewett. I'm a former pro pitcher. I used to own a baseball and softball academy. So I've been the sort of advice giver to lots of families for a long time. And obviously I do that a lot here on my channel. And I post in some of these Facebook groups and I lurk on Reddit. I actually really enjoy Reddit. I think it's one of the best social media platforms where people really do share authentic stories, help each other, solve their plumbing problems, rate their concrete installations, all this crazy stuff. So there's a lot of really good information. But the problem with baseball instruction, especially when it comes to pitching and hitting mechanics, is that too few people actually are qualified to give that kind of advice. Here's my take on all this. If you're asking for equipment recommendations, how to deal with conflicts between parents, coaches, coaching tips, what should you say in this situation? Or again, like what kind of batting gloves are worth it? What's not worth it? What should you be spending as a parent? All these sort of procedural and administrative and interpersonal questions, Reddit and Facebook groups are really, really good resources for that kind of stuff. I cannot stress enough that if you're asking for pitching mechanics advice or hitting mechanics advice, you could not be in a worse place than Reddit or Facebook groups. You're going to get 40 different answers and opinions from 40 different people, and you're going to have no idea who's qualified and who's not, and you're not going to know which advice is correct and which is not. I lurk in a lot of these Facebook groups, and again, I'll post my videos and stuff like that. I'll occasionally comment, but I see some of the advice people give on mechanics, and it blows my mind. I'm like, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. That's the exact opposite thing to do. That's wrong, that's half right, but like too vague and doesn't have context. That drill would work, but it's like, how are they even gonna know how to do it? Most of these answers are text-based, so the advice is often like unactionable. If someone's like, hey, what should I do for my kid? He's a hitter. What do you say? Oh, he should stay on his back leg longer. Okay, do you just say those words to your kid? Or they're like, oh, he should be doing the towel drill. That'll help fix this. It's like, well, how do you do the towel drill? Someone says it with words, but like, what's the right way to do that? Then you have to go search that on YouTube. And then is that coach teaching it the right way? Maybe you find one of my videos and you're like, who's this Dan guy? Does he know what he's talking about? It makes the most sense to narrow it down into a real small circle of trust. You have to build trust with me on the web, right? You're gonna watch a bunch of my videos until you determine whether I know what I'm talking about or not, or I don't. And what are my motives here? Am I just here to sell you something? Yes, I have things to sell. This is literally my full-time job, but am I giving this information solely to get you to buy something? Or am I just giving you this information in hopes that it'll help you? And then if you like me enough, maybe you'll buy something from me because you trust me. That's the way I do it. Just like anything in life, if you want to do things cheaply, and that often means finding free solutions on YouTube, finding advice on Facebook or anywhere else, Reddit, it's going to cost you significantly in time. That's just the way it works. It's the same thing with me. I sell online courses. They're $200, $500, $80, $130. They vary in price, but the reason they cost money is because I've done a lot of the work for you. You don't have to dig through YouTube to figure out what drills to do. You bought my course, so I'm doing it for you. Here's what you do. This is it. I give out tons of free information that anyone can use. And if you want to spend the time to cobble it all together, more power to you. You can absolutely do that. And that's why I do this. But you as a consumer of information need to understand that when you do this crowdsourcing, whether it's from YouTube or anywhere else, you're going to have to do a lot of filtering and figure out who's credible and who's not, and who connects with you in a way that makes you feel empowered to do to solve the problems that you're trying to solve. So understand that if you want to go this route of finding ways to coach better and do better for your kids on the web, you're going to have to spend a good amount of time figuring out who's credible, who's not, and then cobbling together enough information to then start to form your own filter. You can say, no, I don't think that's right because I've watched these other videos or I've read these other articles or I've read these other books. Therefore, I don't think that advice is right. I think these two things that were suggested are correct. That takes a long time. And so do your diligence, figure it out. But I highly recommend against crowdsourcing for hitting or pitching mechanics on Facebook or Reddit groups. It's just too many cooks in the kitchen, and you're not going to know what to sort through and what advice is real and what's not. And often it will just confuse you and the kids that you're coaching even more. All right. So I hope you found this video was helpful. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. Check out my online courses and books, which you'll find in the description below. And I'll see you here in the next video.